Charlie Brown's because they have a full barista, and other places you can only get the really crappy coffee, so you get a little bit better coffee there.
Say Amici's.
I'm gonna go with Charlie Brown's.
I like to get lattes, which are still not very good here, but like I said, it's better than their plain coffee that you can get everywhere else on campus.
Pizza, probably pepperoni, cheese, and then I love their Seawolf sundaes.
Well, lately I've been getting coffee because it's convenient and they're pretty fast and reasonably priced. Or I get like a salad.
It could be a lot better. It's pretty terrible most of the time.
It's pretty good actually. The calf, some people think that the quality of that food isn't that good, and some of it isn't, but you have a huge variety of it, so in general I'd say it's good.
They do seem to have a decent diversity of food. I mean, we do have the Commerce place, or the other place near the bookstore, and that has like Mexican food and like hamburgers, and that's really great, but they don't seem to mix it up too much, so it's decent, and I eat it a lot, but I would want something like a new restaurant or I don't know, Asian food, Japanese, I don't know, just like they don't have sushi, so they don't have too much wide variety.
I don't know if I've eaten like prepared food on colleges, but they seem to have a lot more like readily available, just pre-packaged foods. If you want to just pick up a snack, it doesn't seem as limited to where we only have like chips and candy bars. They seem to have more of a variety, like more little tiny stores on campus that have a wider range of food. Like we only have the Zinn Market, and that still has mostly prepared food from campus.
I don't know, I haven't eaten on other colleges, so I can't say.
I've had this discussion like with my friends several times, especially about like cafeteria food. And I don't think no matter what, students will be happy with what with what they have on campus. They'll always like want more, and there's nothing like a restaurant or a food court, I guess you could say. So compared to other places, I think we're average, like a 6 out of 10.
Customer service is okay. Once again, it's students working for barely any money, so I would be pissed off if I were them too. Like, I work in food, but I at least get paid a lot more than they get paid here. So I try to do a good job, like, to kind of compensate for what they're paying me for. If I was making $8 an hour, I probably wouldn't do as good of a job serving food because I have really no incentive.
Like on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd probably say 7 or 8, 10 being the best. Usually it's just students who are working at these places, so they're just kind of like, whatever. Here's your food and be on your way.
They're nice, and they have a few funny people there. So always quick, and when you've made a mistake, they always correct it, and they're not like pushy or rude. Actually, they have really good quality service for students, and being a student like one-on-one interaction instead of like an older person and a student. So I think they have good quality.
No. I wish the pub was open later because I have a 6 o'clock class, which would be nice to go to the pub before. And they close at 5, so that's like an hour gap in between. And they have some of the better food on campus there, so you can get sandwiches that are made when you order them, not sitting all day.
Yeah. When I would have meals at the CAF, I didn't like those hours because they just had breakfast or brunch, and then they'd be closed. And then they'd open up for lunch for about 2 or 3 hours and then close, and then dinner. So you had to go at those times and work your schedule kind of around their schedule. So if you missed lunch, you have to wait till dinner. Those were people who had meal plans. So when I had a meal plan, I was like, now I have to go waste more money and buy food from another place.
So you think it should be open and be more flexible then?
Yeah, I think it should have an open hour and a closed hour and be open.
I wish they were open on Sunday. There's
Come here studying?
Yeah, Sunday, or I work at the library, so if I work here, I have nowhere to go if I have like a break. So, I mean, you're starving or hungry. For people that like live on campus, I mean, you would either have to walk like 20, 15 minutes, or you'd have to go to the cafeteria. That's not much of a choice.
The pub's pretty convenient. It's like right in the middle of the
Yeah,
quad. All my classes are basically around it. I feel like the Zen Market's a little inconvenient for people that don't live in the area, and that's where you can get anything besides food that you want, like Advil and that kind of stuff, or the bookstore. But yeah, I mean, our campus is so small, it's kind of hard not to be convenient.
Yeah, they are. They're nicely spread. I normally just go, I either went to the caf or to Amici's, and then we have the pub over here in the Commons. Has a restaurant in there. I've never eaten in there, but it seems kind of fancy.
Yes, especially since I work in the library, right below it. Very easy to pop on down and get something to eat or drink at an appropriate hour, because there are hours where it's really busy.
Yes. Well, yeah, the pub is the only place, and it has extremely limited hours. Like, they're only open for like 2 hours on Fridays and stuff. So, I mean, I would spend more time on campus if I could get stuff I actually wanted here. Not that I like to like get drunk all the time, but like I'm a wine business major. Sometimes I'd like to go have a glass of wine, and they only serve like 3 different types of wine on campus.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary, but it'd be nice if the pub was open longer. So if they had like a happy hour, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, why don't we just extend what we already have? You know, it's not like we're opening a whole new rule of having alcohol on campus. So I wish they would extend the hours.
I normally go to the pub or Charlie Brown's. Generally the pub in the afternoon, and yes, it is crowded a lot. They have long lines to order, but they have a good amount of seating there, and they have the outdoor area. And Charlie Brown's is typically crowded the majority of the day. I don't think that their food is good enough to wait in the lines that they have there. So if there's a long line, I'll usually leave, which is most of the time.
Yeah, it usually is. When I go to Amici's, it's usually nighttime when everybody's out getting food. So the dinner and then the meal after dinner. And what's nice about Amici's is they also deliver. So I like that. But yeah, it's usually crowded.
No. I go in the morning. I go probably like 25 minutes before class, like so my class starts at 10. And that's not busy, but if you go 15 minutes before 10, it has a pretty long line, so it's just like the rush. And then I probably go sometime in the afternoon if class gets out, and that also varies. So I don't know, it's busy sometimes.
Add a better cafe that serves maybe some more like made on the spot food, stuff that's not so packaged and has been sitting there all day. Maybe adding a sandwich line somewhere else besides the pub that has a wider variety of hours.
I like Mexican food, and unless the caf is serving Mexican food that day, which you don't really know, then there's really no place on campus to get that.
All right. Yes. One of my favorite food is Mediterranean, so like dolmas and probably some Thai food would be really great. I know we have like a Thai salad in Charlie Brown's, but like one salad doesn't constitute like a whole